Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to our webinar where we will be exploring how you can save time and make data-driven decisions with Bullhorn Canvas. My name is Megan, and before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping points that I'd like to run through. So our session today will run for around 45 minutes. This will include time for Q&A at the end. Please feel free to put any questions you have during the webinar into the Q&A chat, and we will cover those then. Thanks to anyone who's already submitted questions ahead of today. We'll also run through those at the end. And finally, the whole session today will be recorded, so don't worry if you need to drop out during the session. This will be sent to you afterwards. So let's get started with some introductions. So as I mentioned earlier, I am Megan and I am the Marketing Communications Assistant here at Kylo. For anyone who isn't familiar with us, Kylo are your Bullhorn specialists. Our products and solutions have helped over 950 companies worldwide to streamline, automate and customize and get the most out of their Bullhorn. We help you save time and money, win more business and maximize ROI. And joining me from Kylo today is Alex, who is our solutions consultant. And we are delighted to be joined by a very special guest, Gabriella, who is Director of Systems and Data at JCW. JCW Group are a full-service global talent provider comprising of 6 specialist brands, each with a focus on delivering sector-specific talent solutions to businesses worldwide. Kylo have been working closely with JCW for the past couple of years to help them to get more from their Bullhorn Canvas, and we're going to show you how we've done that today. So to get things started, first of all, I'm going to give you an overview of Canvas, including some of the benefits and features. So Bullhorn Canvas is a tool that enables you to explore every dimension of your business, unlock powerful data-driven insights, and take action to drive business results. It goes beyond standard reporting and puts the power of reporting and analytics in your hands. You can gain powerful insights from otherwise hidden data, including relationship velocity, employee performance, business metrics, and more. With data unlocked, Bullhorn Canvas empowers you to discover new insights across your key accounts so you can make smarter decisions and business investments. And Bullhorn Canvas can do so much, and we'll dive into that a little bit more detail shortly, but we just wanted to highlight some of the key features before we go into that. So Bullhorn comes with several pre-built industry best practice reports that are a great starting point. But to maximize value from this tool and uncover and analyze key metrics that are unique to your business strategy and tactics, we recommend the custom reporting options. Some example reports could include recruiter activity reports to see detailed employee performance by client, historical margin trends to uncover underperforming investments, or sales activity heat maps to track performance across regions. Canvas lets you share reports across teams, offices, and regions so the entire organization can have access to critical business insights. And results can also be exported in different file formats to be shared with your team, and you can schedule reports to automatically send to free up valuable working hours. So now, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Alex and Gabriella to take a look at how JCW Group have revolutionized how they do their Bullhorn reporting.
Thank you, Megan. Gabriella, first of all, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's a pleasure to have you. So we want to jump into a few bits here. So first of all, we'd like to understand, the audience that's on the call, to understand how Canvas and Kylo and our partnership together has really helped you drive the JCW Group.
Yeah.
I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Gabriella. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I've been with JCW Group for 5.5 years now, and I've been the main administrator of Canvas for the past 2 years, where I've been responsible for building out reports and dashboards. At JCW, we use Canvas to automate manual reports, assess employee performance, set KPIs, look at historical trends, and really gain actual insights from hidden data in our system. We've truly revolutionized our reporting, also the way that we manage our data and our ability to make data-driven business decisions. Canvas really allows you to report on any data point you want in Bullhorn. However, it does require a bit of time and training to really be able to dive deep into the analytics. which is why Kyle's consultancy service has been really crucial to getting us up and running with Canvas. We've gone from building simple activity reports to reporting on quite complex data sets, which I will get into a bit more detail later.
Okay, fantastic. So if we jump onto the next slide here. So you've got Canvas, you've got Bullhorn, used it for a number of years. What's the impact of Bullhorn Canvas been on your processes at JCW? How's it helped you?
Yeah, Canvas has really changed the way that we use Bullhorn. You know, it's not just a phone directory. It really provides us the ability to dig into insights and assess how people are performing. I think one of the biggest impact it's had is the way that we approach KPIs. So for a long time, JCW set our KPI targets as an average globally. So we would look at our success ratios, such as how many calls as a business did we need to pull a role? How many CVs did we need to book an interview? How many interviews did we need to get an offer? And then kind of divided that by the total headcount and said, that's your target for everyone globally. As we grew as a company, we noticed it wasn't working very well. You know, someone very senior likely won't need to send the same amount of CVs as an associate first starting out. So we really wanted a methodology to show what good looks like on an individual basis rather than taking a generic headcount approach. So in Canvas, we were able to build out a calculator which personalized KPIs. So this calculator takes an individual's historical success ratios and then uses that to calculate what they need to do on a weekly basis to hit their financial targets. This dashboard really allowed us to identify where people are struggling. So it gives managers a really clear direction to go in, like what needs to assess what needs work, what doesn't, also giving them the framework for each consultant's success. So that's been huge and really has impacted that process. Another way has been increasing our data integrity process. So prior to Canvas, we really didn't have much visibility into our system, but by building out certain reports, we were really able to see what is going into the system. So what values are missing, what steps aren't being taken in a specific process or workflow, who are our biggest offenders of bad data. So we've really been able to tackle data cleansing and management in a much more structured way to ensure the accuracy of our reports.
So it sounds to me like you're really pushing Canvas, pushing the boundaries of what you want to achieve and what you can achieve within Canvas. It's fantastic to hear. So what are the main benefits? How has Canvas really, what are the main benefits of Canvas to the JCW group? What are you seeing the most beneficial there?
Yeah, so while Canvas has been very valuable for our sales team, it's also been instrumental for our global support division. So before Canvas, there was a lot of time wasted on gathering, aggregating, formatting, and presenting data. We've been able to automate 17 manual reports, saving the team about 32 hours per month. So these reports are ranging from invoicing reports for finance, hiring trends for marketing, contract redeployment for compliance. The list really goes on, but that has been a huge time saver. And then another great feature is the scheduling function. So you know, we're able to have a report run and in someone's email inbox at a predefined time automatically. The team is now able to use that time saved to work on more strategic and innovative projects that will drive the business forward. And then the other major benefit that we've seen is our improvement in success ratios for the sales team. As I mentioned earlier, we've really changed our approach to KPIs and we're working on more of a quality over quantity mindset. So since rolling out that dashboard that I mentioned previously, we've seen an increase in our CV to interview ratio by 10%. Client calls to job ratio has increased by 4%, and our interview to offer ratio has increased by 11%. So by using Canvas to set obtainable and intelligent targets, and then management having really clear indicators of what needs work, we're seeing real results there.
I mean, it's great to hear. I mean, as a previous kind of Bullhorn client as myself, 5 years we used Canvas. I mean, we weren't pushing Canvas to kind of anywhere near where you were, but that's awesome to hear. So what I think everyone would really like to see, or we're going to jump onto the next slide and look at some of the examples, some of the example reports that you are using with the team. So contact attempts and calls. So I'd call this a simple list activity report. Do you want to talk us through this? Kind of tell us what it does, who's the audience for this report, how they consume it, and how often they consume it?
Sure. So this report is looking at JCW's customized note types in Bullhorn. So it's a simple activity report showing the number of contact attempts and calls per day per consultant. So it's set to run and be sent to our managers each day by 10:30 a.m. So it gives them a snapshot of where each consultant is at for the day by 10:30. So there's some conditional formatting added in here to really highlight any low performers. So anyone highlighted in red is showing zeros across the board, meaning since they've logged on for work, they've had zero activity. Anyone in the red font is just, we're emphasizing it's a little bit low. It's really a quick way for managers to get an idea of where their consultants are at and kind of keep them on track for the day.
Okay, awesome. So it goes out to managers every day by 10:30. So the consultants are, if you're looking at the consultants, looking at the activity from when they arrive in the office first thing in the morning, 7:30, 8:30, all the way through till 10:30, seeing how they're setting themselves up for the day.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, well, let's jump through to the next example. So the next example is our global pipeline report. So there's a little bit more to this report, and I want to say it comes in two parts. So let's look at each of these tables. So again, relatively simple list views here, looking at your submission statuses by team, etc. Do you want to walk us through this one and just explain to us what's going on?
What's great about this report is that it's updating in real time. So it's tracking each team's candidate pipeline in real time. So showing candidates currently sitting at interview stage all the way to offer. So the table breaks down how many candidates are sitting at each status, and then compares them against whether the vacancy is permanent or contract. You actually can't see it on this screenshot, but there is a hyperlink on the total pipeline column. And that hyperlink will actually bring you into a parent report, which will just provide additional detail about the candidates at each stage. So the candidate's name, the client, the job title, potential deal value. The table in the middle there is just a breakdown per team. So it's going to show what each team's headcount is, what their target is, how many candidates they have in pipeline, and the pipeline target hit. And then that table all the way to the right is just showing how many CVs we have awaiting feedback on the system, and then how many live jobs we have globally. And then if you move...
Sorry, but before we go on to the next one, my favorite part of this report is typically when you meet, typically when you look at Bullhorn and companies that have been using Bullhorn, so many candidates will sit on the submission stage or first interview. The advantages of this report and the fact that you can see how many candidates are stuck at first interview, it forces the consultants to come along and reject the candidates and ensure they're rejected rather than just leaving hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of candidates at the incorrect submission stage. My favorite part.
This actually goes back to that data management piece that I was talking about. Is now, consultants are responsible for making sure that their statuses are updated and really, pushing that data integrity forward.
No. So so this is the second part of the global pipeline. Should we jump? There we go.
Yeah, and then this is just breaking it down a little bit further per consultant. This report goes out to our leadership team, and it really helps them forecast the deals for the week, gives them a better idea of what teams are working on, and can highlight what teams or consultants are struggling as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. So we got one last report. So our last report is our account management dashboard. So there's two parts to this report. So this report's a little bit different. So this report has a prompt page. So prompt page allowing the team to come along, select the team in question, the sub-team, and the consultants in question. Obviously, this report here has been anonymized for us. So we'll go on to the next, we'll look to see what this report looks like in a moment. But before we get there, what exactly is the report? Who's consuming it? Same questions as the first example.
Yeah, this one's a bit more of a complex report. It's used for our 360 recruiters, so our business developers. Where the previous report was showing candidate pipeline, this report is focusing more on roles pipeline. So consultants will run this either weekly or daily to kind of strategically plan their week. So if we move on to the next screenshot. So it's broken down by client, and essentially using that prompt, once they select their name, it's going to pull up all of the open vacancies that they have associated with the user selected. It's broken down by client and shows various details related to the job, such as job title, hiring manager, resourcer, how many days it's been open. You can't see on the screenshot, but this one also has drill through links, and it will either take you to another report to provide more detail, or one of my favorite features is there's also links that will take you to the record itself in Bullhorn, which I just think is a very nice, quick way for the consultant to work quicker and more effectively. So that hiring manager column, if you click on that link, it'll actually bring you to the contact record in Bullhorn.
Yeah, we can see the hyperlinks on the total CV count there.
Yeah. So that also will bring them to a different report and show them some more information. So the second half of this table really is going to be where the business developer can gain some actionable insights. So it's going to show how many CVs are awaiting feedback against that role, how many candidates are currently sitting at interview stage, days since last spoken to hiring manager. So you can see there's some conditional formatting there. It's going to highlight red and flag to the consultant if they haven't spoken to the manager in over a week. So kind of just prompting them, maybe it's time to follow up. So this really allows each consultant to assess their jobs, see what roles need to be closed, what needs more work. Maybe they can assess the quality of business of each client. Maybe the team is spending way too much time on a job and getting nothing out of it. Perhaps there are other roles that need to be worked that have more potential. So these types of insights can really be action using this dashboard.
I don't know if everyone everyone's spotted that's watching this afternoon, but across the top, just underneath the title of account management dashboard, you have the 7 tabs. So when you're in Canvas, obviously Canvas being the live product that it is, like Bullhorn, you can jump between the tabs. It's not just kind of one report on the front there. You've got 7 different reports. They can all be downloaded at any point in time as well. Okay. So if we jump over to the next slide, what we're going to talk about here is an example of a report that Kylo and our BI team have built. So this is an example. So a bit of background on this report. This was built back in kind of the peak of COVID, the peak of lockdown, when recruitment agency owners were trying to get a real grasp, a real handle on what their teams were doing. So as you can see here, it's looking at department, user, total activities, and then breaking those activities down. This can be any metric in Bullhorn. It can be CV sends, it could be any submission. So CVs, interviews, shortlists, it could be notes, it could be appointments, it could be absolutely anything. So the idea behind this report was setting, similar to what we've seen, setting a benchmark. So we run this report at 9 o'clock in the morning, we run this report at 5 o'clock in the evening. What's the activity been for our consultants during the day? So this is just, one of many examples. You've seen the examples there that Gabriella and the Kylo BI team that have created together. There's not really, you can literally do anything within Canvas. As long as your data, as long as you have the fields, as long as you have your data, and we can help with the data, if you need help with getting that data where it needs to be, essentially anything is possible within Canvas. So this report, just to kind of wrap up on this report, it's a daily activity report. So it's looking at we're looking at very specific examples here: candidate calls, contact calls, companies, contacts created, candidates created. We could be looking at any shortlist activity, any activity within Bullhorn that takes place, we can pull out into a Canvas report. We can have pickers. So the pickers can show us date ranges, they can show us time ranges, departments, users, and then even any custom field that you have within Bullhorn, be it a standard field, a custom field, a placement, employment type, a placement status. You can run reports on anything that sits within Bullhorn. So if we jump on to the next slide, I guess, how can Kylo help you? How can we help you? So as we've seen that kind of talking to Gabriella, talking through the examples and how Kylo have helped JCW. We have a team of we have a BI team. They specialize in Bullhorn Canvas. It's what they do 5 days a week. We can create reports together. So you can give us a report. We can scope a report out with you. If you already have Canvas, in the full Canvas, you can consume Bullhorn Canvas in a number of ways. The first is you have Canvas as a full-blown product. We can help you build reports within your environment. If you don't, and you just want to have Canvas reports built for you, and you just want to be able to press run on them, we can also help with that. You can also take the reports that you build. So let's say you build a company report. On the company report, you want to see how many live jobs you have at any point in time. You can achieve that in Bullhorn. You can go to the job list. You can go open job equals open, status equals vacant, etc. You can then go to the filter on the company, then click kind of the checkbox and see how many jobs there are. But that takes like 30, 40 seconds. Using a Canvas report and the overview, we can create cards. So we can take a Canvas report, put it onto an overview card. You can very quickly see any of those kind of core stats that sit behind your companies, for example. So Kylo is well suited to building out any Canvas reports that you have. Any ideas that you have, we're more than happy to take them. You can pop them in the chat. You can speak to us after, but we are kind of ready to take any kind of your Canvas reporting needs. So I'll pass back over to Megan now, and we're going to jump into the questions. Over to you, Megan.
Great. Thank you both so much. We've covered a lot of interesting points during that session. And I'm now going to see if we've got any questions from anyone. So I can see that there have been a few that have come in. So we'll try and cover as much as we can. So the first one is, what knowledge or skills did you have when starting this? I think that one is for you, Gabriella.
Yeah, so I had very advanced Excel skills. Since learning the Canvas tool, I now have skills within SQL query. But prior to that, I really had little to no SQL query experience. I had taken a data analytics course, but since then, I've really enhanced those SQL querying experiences and skills.
Great. And then the next question is, what are the benefits of working with Kylo? I don't know if you want to answer that one as well, Gabriella.
Yeah, so our partnership with Kylo has played a major role in our success with Canvas. Just to give some background on what it was like working with the consultancy. So I first started out working with a consultant one-on-one, showing her what we wanted to build. With screen shares, I was able to watch her build the report and then go off on my own and try to replicate it. I also was able to reference recorded calls whenever I got stuck. I built up my own knowledge of Canvas, and now I have the confidence to go off on my own and build these reports. But I still work with this consultant, but just a little bit less frequently. She's there when I need an extra pair of hands and guidance. While I'm very confident in my ability in Canvas, I know there's still so much more to learn. So the possibilities are really, really endless in Canvas. And I think for as long as we have Canvas, we will be working with Kylo.
Oh, that's great to hear. There is another question. How are you using the extra time that you have as a result of automating your reports?
Yeah, now we just have time to, work on the more strategic and innovative parts of our roles. There was so much time wasted on manually manipulating data. And now with these automations, it's not needed anymore. So it's been great.
Bro. There's another question. I don't know where to start with reporting. Does Kylo advise on the type of reports that are possible as part of your service? Do you want to take that one, Alex?
Yeah, 100%. So Kylo's solution consultants, as someone such as myself, we can work with you to establish kind of what you're looking to achieve through your reporting. What are you doing today, or what are you not doing today? Where would you like to start? There's the basics, right? How many CVs have gone out the door? How many interviews have gone out the door? How many shortlists have gone out the door? And that's kind of your basics. And from that basics, we can build on that. So yeah, I absolutely. If you don't know where to start, we can help you.
And the next one I think you might want to take as well. Can Kylo build a one-off report for us, or does it need to be a suite of reports?
One-off reports, suites of reports. Both are absolutely fine. We can do either. It can be one-off reports for pay and bill exports, for KPIs, metrics. I mean, we've spoken quite a lot about KPIs and metrics here. They don't have to be KPI metric driven reports. They can be for payrolling, they can be for invoices, they can be for placements, they can be compliance, consent. I mean, the list goes on and on. It can be anything that resides within Bullhorn we can report on, be it a one-off report or a suite of reports.
Lovely. And there is another question. We still have a lot of people working remotely, and I don't see this changing for a while. Is the home workers report something that we can still have, Alex?
Yeah, 100%. So we can deploy the home workers report as long as you. So you have to have a Canvas. You have to have a Bullhorn Canvas license. You can have a Bullhorn Canvas license in a full version or a kind of a slimmed down read-only version. And once you have that, we can deploy that home workers report to you with absolute ease. We can also edit it. So I fully appreciate what you saw there was an example. That can be edited to kind of fit your business needs, your note types, your submission types. So we can tailor that report to you. Absolutely.
Great. And if I want to if I want to build reports myself, is that possible? And what is the extra value that Kylo can give? Alex, what do you think?
So take the first part there. So can you build reports yourself? So yes, absolutely. You can build reports yourself. List view reports. If you just want to drag in reports, if you want to build out a very simple rule, a very simple report of, I don't know, let's say jobs, and you want to apply some filters to it and sort it. Absolutely, you can build that yourself. If you're looking to do more, if you're looking to link candidates with companies, with contacts, with jobs, with placements, you're looking to link them all together and build out a report and have prompts and have filters and everything, by all means, you can do it yourself if you have the knowledge. People come to Kylo because they don't have that knowledge. We have people that have worked with Kylo for years. Worked with Canvas for years. I used Canvas for, I want to say, about 4 years as a client prior to joining Kylo. I actually used, sat in a very similar position to Gabriella. I used our BI team for those simple things that I couldn't do, those simple query, those simple, well, depends who you're talking to. They weren't simple SQL queries to me. By the time I sat down and I learned how it worked, it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. But if you're looking, even it's a good example from when I was trying to do it myself. If you want to just bring jobs in a report that were added in the last calendar month, there's no like drag and drop button for that in Canvas. That is a query. So if you don't know where to start with that, it's that knowledge of the Canvas product that Kylo brings with us to the table. I think that answers that.
It's a great answer. Do Kylo do Power BI reports too, Alex?
Yes. So we're working on with Power BI. Power BI currently requires a data mirror. I'd like to think, I mean, I've got my fingers crossed here, that there will be a way of using Power BI without a data mirror in the future. But we will see.
Great.
So that's yes.
So yes. I think that we've come to the end of the questions. There's some really good ones in there. So I think that is us for today. So thank you both so much for joining, and thanks to everyone else for tuning in today as well. You will soon find the recording in your inbox to refer back to, or you can share it with your colleagues. And if you'd like to discuss anything we've covered in today's webinar, please do reach out. We'll be so happy to help you. And if you have any other questions or anything, please don't be scared to get in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Gabriella, for joining us. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you both so much. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.